Hey guys. That's good. Welcome back to my channel. I'm going to be showing you guys how to double your wefts. I was going to combine this video with how to sew the wefts onto the cap, but I remember that learning this particular technique was kind of tricky for me because it seems like a lot's going on that you have to pay attention to. I was like, let me just kind of focus in on this one versus trying to mash it all up in one long video when I could just have one video that's straight to it, you know what I mean? I honestly feel like this is a type of technique that you want to learn in person. But for those who can't get like a hold of the class, I want to make this very descriptive as much as I can to where it almost works as if you are in a class. We're just gonna get straight to it. Did I greet you guys? I don't know. If I didn't, hello everyone. My name is Providence. Welcome back to my channel. This is Wigology part 2. Long awaited, I think. I don't know what you guys thought was gonna be next. I know in the end of that video I was like coming up and I had like a section, but then my hard drive ended up crashing. Data recovery was like $800, so I was like, you know what, we're just gonna make a new video. Okay, let's focus. So anyways, I'm gonna show you guys how to double your wefts on a sewing machine. I think some people say you could do it with like needle and thread, which I don't know why in the hell you would want to do that, but I'm not knocking needle and thread, but it's just like there are easier ways. Work smarter, not harder. That's what I'm just gonna say that. So we're just gonna go ahead and get started. I'm gonna show you guys like hand placements, like what exactly you need to do. But the rest of this video is gonna be a voiceover. I'm not gonna be talking because you're not gonna be able to hear me over that sewing machine. So that's pretty much that for the intro. So make sure you get your pencil, your pad, your notebook, whatever it is that you need. And take your notes. If you have it, if you have a sewing machine in bundles, you can follow along if that's what you want to do. Okay guys, I'm gonna see you guys in the next clip. So I'm definitely gonna flip my camera around so I can be able to zoom in and show you guys. I'm just gonna go through with one bundle and just show you guys kind of how seamless and how kind of like smooth you should be able to do it. I won't say by the end of this tutorial, but pretty much by the end of this tutorial. It's a very hands-on technique. So if you don't have a sewing machine, I would say get one. This one girl said that she got one from Walmart for like $30-something. I didn't know Walmart had sewing machines for that cheap. All that matters is if it works. The price doesn't matter. I was blessed with this one because this is from my grandmother. So when I started getting into wigs and I saw we had a sewing machine, I was like, hold on. I like this right. This was destined for me. Like God knew what he was doing. I'm just gonna go ahead and show you guys how it should look when you're doing it, because this is still a wig that I have to make for this lady. I have to finish this today, so but it's not gonna be hard. And I was literally about to take a nap and I was like, wait, stop playing, Prob. Like you got stuff to do. So boom, hold on, I'm gonna go ahead and zoom in a little bit. You want to make sure that your laces are together. Like you see how this and this, they are like literally they start together. You want to put your laces together and just literally clip it underneath the needle and the little plate, and then you just start sewing. Because I have nails, I can't grab it how I normally would, but I'm finna grab it. Just give me a second. Before you sew too far, you want to lock the wefts together. So I like to go backwards all the way to the beginning because I like to lock the wefts. Now you're probably gonna be like, well, what does that do for you? It just makes it easier so that they're not separated when you're trying to sew them on the cap. It's just one strip. Like, so instead of so let's say this is weft number 1 and weft number 2 and you're sewing them together. In the beginning, if you have them separated like this, I won't say it makes it harder, but you would have to sew this part, then go back and sew this part, and then go and join them together, and then you can start sewing in one. Versus if you just had it as one, you just go boom boom on the cap. You know, you sew it, you lock it, and you go back and you just sew it as one. It makes it look neater as well, and it semi kind of makes your job a little easier. Not like, it doesn't make a huge difference, but I just like my stuff to look really neat. So if my clients be nosy and they be like, let me look at these tracks, like at least the tracks look neat, you know. After you lock the webs and you sew it together to make one, you just go all the way. You have to pull it. So after I explain this one, I'm going to explain it again. You pull on this end, you're pulling this way so that you can push, because even if you don't pull it, it's still going to go through the machine. It's just that when you don't pull them taut, the wefts it'll be together and they can start to separate if you just let the machine pull it by itself. So you have to make sure you're pulling it here to make sure you're keeping it going forward, and then you pull it on this side like this. You don't have to like pull it backwards, but you just pull it like a little bit, just a little, to make sure that it's tight. You know, like when people walk on those like tight ropes and the rope is real, like it's between the two poles is real tight. So you have to make sure you just pull it tight so that you can keep these wefts sticking together. But I'm also gonna like come on this side and show you guys like finger placement and how it should look when it's going underneath the needle and thread, so you know for sure that it's sewing the wefts together. They shouldn't be laying on like right on top of each other, but they should be kind of like this. Like they shouldn't be like this, but they should be like, you get that? I'm gonna just have to show y'all. So we're just gonna go all the way through with this bundle, and then with the next one, I'm gonna show you guys how to do it more up close. And so even when you get to the end, you still want to lock the stitch or whatever it's called. Okay, so let me show y'all. Okay, so you can see that this is the very end of it, and I had to stitch it together. Not that I had to, but damn it, can you focus? I stitched it together here, you see at the end, and then when you come to this side as well, this is the beginning part. When I say don't put it right on top of each other, like, you probably can't really see that. I hate that. But you can see the difference, like, between this part right here and this part right here. Like, you can see the difference. With her wefts, they're thin, but not all wefts come this, like, thin, you know? So if you have thicker wefts and you put them right on top of each other, your wig is not going to be flat. And that is the worst thing ever, because it's like, I sewed every weft like that. So it's like, it's not even because of you not making it flat, it's just because of the way that the wefts are. That's why you want to sew them like layering, and it's not like directly on top of each other. That's how you generally want to sew them, to sew your wefts all the way across, because that makes the hold on, y'all, I'm stuttering and shit. That makes the wig be able to look as flat as possible. You never want your wefts to be the reason why your wig is lumpy, okay? So that's something that you could definitely like avoid. It's hard when you're first doing it, trust me, I know, and I completely understand. It's so hard to learn this task because it was hard for me. Like, I would have my wefts and they would be all over the place, like separated, and some would be together, some would be on top of each other, and then like for a little bit I'd have them looking perfect, and then I'll start messing up again. You just have to make sure that you're pulling it through that needle and thread correctly. This is just bundle number one. This is what you don't want to do. Okay, so don't sew it right on top of each other. Make sure you lock your wefts at the beginning, because see how now it's all one? I could just sew this as one instead of having to sew two separate tracks to, you know, verge into one or merge into one, but it could just be one. And like I said, lock the wefts at the beginning, lock them at the ends, and that's pretty much it. Like, this is just, I guess this is basically how it should end up though. Like, it should look like one big track. This hair is kind of thick, I like it. Alrighty, so boom, we're just gonna go over the steps one more time. Make sure that you start with both wefts at the same end point. That makes sense, right? You know what I mean. And oh yeah, see, there you go. There you go. Now, one way to put it underneath is to slide it right underneath like I did here. When I was teaching my class in person, I showed my student that she can also slide it in from the side, and she said that was easier for her. So you can also slide it in from like sideways instead of right underneath. That way you can hold it onto it better. Also, when you're sewing, you don't want to start right at the tip. You want to bring it forward just a little bit so that way you can move forward and back up and lock the wefts easier. So you want the wefts to lay layered, okay? Hold them how you want them to sew. You don't want them to be right on top of each other like this. This is a no-no. You want them to be layered like that, so it sews layered. So now we're moving on to hand placements. You want to use your right hand to ever so slightly keep the tension of the web. So you pull backwards lightly. Okay, don't pull backwards too hard because you will mess up your sewing machine. Now with your left hand, yep, you're gonna go ahead and pull the already sewn webs. Just, you know, pull them out so it keeps the flow seamless. I will say one thing about making sure that the tracks stay layered is that sometimes the reason why you want to actively see that the tracks are layered is because sometimes the track at the top, if you stack them on top of each other, one of the tracks can like slide underneath. So on the top surface it looks like you're sewing them together, but really you're not, because one of the tracks slid underneath. So that's why it's good to actually see that the tracks are layered as you're sewing instead of just stacking them on top of each other, because a lot, you know, that's not even how you want it, but a lot could go wrong with that. I really do want to emphasize starting with your tracks together, like putting them together and sliding them under the machine together, because it'll make your job easier when you start sewing and when you need to lock it. That way you don't have to like, they don't separate as you're trying to go backwards and lock it. Oh, so one thing I do want to say is that when you're pulling the hair here, you can pull them on top of each other, but just make sure once it gets like this far away from the actually getting underneath the needle, do not have them still on top of each other. You want them to be separated like this. So you see how here it's separated, but here it looks like it's one together. Can you guys see that? Yeah, so you see how it's like separated here, but here it looks like it's together. This is where I'm holding it at so I can pull it taut. But once it gets underneath the needle, you have to be sure that you're seeing it lay flat on top of one another. So one thing I'd say about that technique is that it really is beginner friendly, actually. So you have a good like hold on it, but when you're actually sewing, it's still sewing layered. At the end of the day, we want the tracks to be sewn together in a layered fashion. So that's why I was saying hold. There's one of my little tips I had, and I said hold the bundle or hold the wefts close to the plate so that way you have control over it. You know, you want to make sure that as it's going underneath the needle and thread that it is becoming layered and not still stacked on top of each other. So definitely try that and see how that works for you. Here we have let's see, what do we have? We got a double wefted here, and then we have them laying right on top of each other, just how we want it. If you have some old tracks that you could try with, if you have a sewing machine, definitely do that. And then here we have the beginning. Oh, can y'all even see? I can't see if y'all can see. Oh, there you go. Okay, I don't know why my camera keeps getting out of focus, but here we have the beginning. Got it locked and stitched, and then we got, boom, the tracks going how they go. Yeah, so yeah. Okay, you guys, so when you finish, you should have 3 of your double wefted bundles, whatever you want to call it, but you just have 3 of them. For those people who are like, well, why do I even have to double weft it anyway? I could just sew it on. For those of you guys who are probably thinking like, oh, well, why do I have to double weft them anyways? Can I just sew them track by track? Yeah, you can, but you're going to be sitting here forever. You could do that, because I'm not going to do that. Especially if you want to make thicker wigs with bigger, fuller densities, you're going to have to know how to at least double your tracks. because from doubling you can quadruple, which you can put even more bundles into your wig. I haven't seen anybody do more than quadrupling tracks though. I know how to quadruple tracks, but I haven't seen anybody do anything more than quadrupling. But I mean, you can do whatever you want to do. Like, once you get these teaks down, you can literally fine tune it, change it to what suits you. But y'all know it be space between my videos, so the next video might not be of me making this wig. It might be of me making a different wig. But I really wanted to separate this video from me sewing on the tracks to the wig, because those are two teaks that you have to really like zone in on and focus. It's very hands-on. Take it step by step, you know, don't try to rush it off. Rome wasn't built in a day. It took me a long time before I was really able to just be so effortless in any of this, you know what I mean? Literally. And I'm still learning. So if you don't get it on the first try, you guys, don't be discouraged. Just keep trying. Like, I'm always here to help. If you guys, you know, leave questions, concerns, whatever in the comments. I have my website. You can email me. You can DM. I don't take DMs on Instagram because I really don't get on Instagram. Like, once I'm on it, I post and I go. Like, I do not stay on Instagram for more than 15 minutes. But you can send me DMs. I will get to them eventually. Always here to help you guys if you need it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love making wig videos, like I really do, but I really do want to branch out from doing wig videos, especially with all this stuff that's going on in my life right now, which I haven't told you guys about yet, but it's a lot happening. School's about to start. I want to do a day in my life. I want to do vlogs. Like, I'm actually kind of funny, like but I see you guys like the hair videos, so I'm gonna just do one at a time. But I really want to do a Q&A at some point. Like, I really want to do a Q&A. So think of some questions that y'all want to ask me. YouTube gave me that little thing where I could make a post now. So that way my YouTube community can be direct with me. Like, cause y'all are the ones that are really responsive to me. And like, y'all have my heart for real. I love y'all. Be safe, be smart, make good choices. Do not be peer pressured into doing anything you don't want to do. Make sure you say your daily prayers and thank God for bringing you this far. You remember that he has even more in store. So thank him in advance. Keep your head to the ground, stay focused. If they ain't talking money, you don't want to talk, period. And don't forget about self-care. Don't work yourself to the bone. Self-care, take a day off, go sleep all day, go out with your friends, go shopping. Not too much, because that'd be doing damage. Like, thank you guys for your support. It means the world to me. You won't even begin to understand. I look crazy. I'm so tired, you guys. I'm kind of hungry. I think I want to get something to eat. This damn clock won't stop beeping. With all of that being said, I'm done talking. That's the end of the video. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys learned something. I hope I helped you with something that you may have had difficulty with. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I'm going to see you guys in my next video.